What's up, everybody? Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're in the mood. We're talking about getting lucky when it comes to buying or selling a home. If you are in the market or thinking about buying or selling and you're wondering, dang, I wish I would have done it then, or I wish I would have waited till now. Those people are so lucky that have made those choices. You're actually in the wrong, and we're going to talk about why right now. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, living in the Denver suburbs. Today we're talking about luck. I'm a half Irishman here and super excited for St. Paddy's Day. As you can see, I got the green in the background. Don't worry, it's not St. Patrick's Day at the time of this recording, so we'll use that as my green. But if you ever have any questions about buying or selling, this episode is all about, your situation and what's going on and how to navigate yourself from, is it the right time to buy? Is it the right time to sell? And we're going to talk all about that and talk about this idea of luck, which I'll tell you right now, I don't necessarily fully buy into. So let's go. Okay, so here we are. We're going to talk about buyers. First and foremost, I hear this all the time. Back when, these people were saying, I'm going to wait till the market slows down. I'm going to wait till the market slows down a little bit so it's not as competitive. Well, we've seen that over the last 6 months. The market has slowed down and it's not quite as competitive as it was. However, now we're saddled with higher interest rates. And so I've heard buyers say, man, those people that got in at 2.75, they're so lucky. And those were the same people that were waiting for the market to cool down. And as a result of the higher interest rates, the market has cooled down a little bit. I'm here to tell you this spring is going to be wonky. Already multiple offers, already a lot going on. So I'm not so sure we're in a cool market anymore like I've been talking about the last, few months, where I thought it was a great opportunity for buyers to get in, maybe pay a little higher interest rate, but the sellers were flexible on those listing prices and concessions. Now that might change as the competition comes back. But let's talk about this idea of luck. If you were in the market and able to buy and just decided to rent another year, that's on you. We're not talking about, anything else but timing. Right? And so if you were in a position and you were able to compete and you got in, now you're the lucky one. When back in the day you were saying, oh man, I don't want to compete. That's crap. It's going to crash. It's all the things. And so now we're looking at a situation where you're looking back. And I'm here to tell you right now, especially in the Denver market, when interest rates are high, you're going to, lose a little bit of value, as opposed to how if the interest rates are low and then people are able to bid up and, have a little more buying power. So let's talk about this idea of timing. And the honest truth is when I talk to people and they're saying, okay, well, I'm going to go back to renting, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you're literally just writing a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 check and throwing it in the trash, right? Like, how is that a better opportunity than purchasing a home? I don't care if it's, a little bit outside of, what you think is a comfortable payment. And that's a whole nother topic and we don't have to go into that, but think about all those people that got in, right? And I say this a lot on here. When your mortgage payments go up, that rent's going to follow right behind it. So as you know, rents are continuing to increase. Every time I talk to somebody who's renting, especially from private owner or, even a property management company, rent's going up $200, $300, $400. And the honest truth is, so are mortgages. So they're kind of weighing that out. Now people are paying in the $3,000, $4,000 range for a, mortgage, especially on those first time low down payments. And so the rent's going to kind of follow and you don't have any control over that. There's a small portion of your monthly payment that you don't control as far as insurance and taxes. But other than that, your principal and interest is going to be the same every single year, year after year. And that's why those overlays are built in by the lenders, just saying, okay, you can have 40, 30, 50% debt to income. So timing is everything. There's no time like now if you're renting. Okay, if you're in a rental, a lease agreement, and you're just writing a check every single month, you might as well be burning that money because you didn't get in, you're waiting for the market to cool off, but you're just throwing money away as you go. And I get it, that not everyone's in a position to buy, but I'm more talking about those people that are saying, oh, I'm in a position to buy now. Those people are so lucky. You can get yourself into a position to buy with a little bit of counseling and coaching. And, that's what I'm here for. I believe in first-time home buyers all day long. I will never turn down a first-time home buyer because I believe in getting you off the hamster wheel of just renting and throwing away money. Think about all those people that got off the 100%, shelter cost of renting, and now they're in that payment. They took that chance, they got in the fight, and they're in that home. Well, over the last couple of years, we've seen a huge increase. So maybe they have a ton of equity. Maybe they bought last spring and they lost just a little bit, but they're on the road to improvement. We're kind of settling into a seasonal trend where we're going to see spring prices kind of explode and then kind of level off. And that's just going to help those people that are in. If you do lose a little value, those people that bought last spring, stay in the fight, continue paying that mortgage payment, because if you pull off from that mortgage payment, you quit paying it and you get kicked out of your house, eventually you're going to go back to renting, the 100% interest, all the things, and your rent payments are continuing to rise, and then you're back in the non-control phase. And obviously life happens, it's vastly dependent on your job and all the things. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in a job and you have an income that you can afford to purchase a home, quit building up debt, quit racking up debt, quit doing the things, throw the credit cards away, whatever you have to do, and get your butt in gear, because that's exactly the people that are just, I'll buy next year. And then they're, buying nice cars on leases and, furniture from, the store on credit and all the things. And as you build that debt to income, you continue to dig yourself a hole, and it's harder when you actually may have the income to actually get into a home. So if you're at the income level that you need to be to afford a, decent mortgage or whatever, then really focus on that debt and don't just keep digging yourself a hole, because if you dig yourself a hole in debt, you have to get a better job and continue to increase your income. So a couple things that you can do if maybe you are a little priced out of the Denver market, and this is going to be a reality. Affordability is a huge reality in the Denver market. Well, maybe we consider geographical, restrictions. Maybe we look a little bit outside the box. And I get it, kids, schools, all the things. But sometimes, we've dug our hole enough where if we just shift our focus 20 miles to the east or 20 miles to the north or whatever it is, maybe we can get a house that actually suits all of our needs. We're not stacking bedrooms and not doing the things with the kids. And maybe that's an option. And I get it, kids, schools, all the things. But there are options, and most of the counties are hurting for kids anyways, and so open enrollment is a thing. So that's something that you can do, maybe a little more dollars and cents in transportation, but sometimes you're working there anyways, and you have a home and you're building equity over here, working here. That's a great situation. So a little geographical flexibility could go a long way. The next thing is it a dream home or a stepping stone? And this is huge for a lot of people. Maybe it does make sense for two of your kiddos to bunk up in a room, and you can go from looking for a 3-2 to a 2-2 or whatever that looks like, maybe even a 3-1, share the bathroom. I know it sucks, but if it's just a stepping stone, you're paying into your equity by principal buy down at the very least, and then maybe you get a little bit of appreciation. All the big companies, economic companies, are talking about a small appreciation jump. Now, it feels like almost a loss after we've seen 15-20% year over year increases over the last few years. But hey, we're still kind of paying, we're getting a little bit better. And the fact that we're only going up 3 to 5, to 6%, whatever people are saying this year, really gives you an opportunity to get in, because with the higher interest rates, if we're going 100K over, that's a lot of money. And so even now with the multiple offers, we're seeing kind of some suppression unless the listing price is obviously intentionally low to get it bid up. We're seeing some suppression in how high people will go, what they're willing to offer. So buyers are a little bit smarter than they were last year in this, the feeding frenzy of the spring market. So that's options. But if you're just a little bit flexible, right, just change your intention just a bit as a buyer, you absolutely have opportunity to get in and quit throwing away that money on rent. And the next thing is change your income if possible, right? Second jobs, look to move up in your company, look to move companies. There's so many companies out there hiring, offering higher wages, all the things. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable. Maybe you absolutely love your job and you're super comfortable in it. Not necessarily saying the grass is always greener, but every little income jump, if you can use that income appropriately, pay down debt, or if you don't have any, that income jump will immediately affect what you can afford, kind of what you do. But this is a home, right? Your living expenses are part of your monthly, net income. And so you have to understand that we might have to pay a little more, because even if you don't, the rent's catching up and you're going to be there anyways. So it's a real critical time for people to understand that it's time to maybe dial it in, maybe pick up that second job with all the, ride shares and all that stuff. I know a lot of people that do that just in their free time. They work their 40-hour-a-week job, they drive a couple hours at night or during the day or whatever, and it doesn't have to be that, but the extra income absolutely will help and get you in a position to be able to purchase a home. And that's the ultimate goal, is to start building your own wealth instead of paying for the landlords, paying for the big industrial investors, bottom line. So let's switch over. Let's flip the coin to sellers. A lot of people are talking about, oh man, I should have sold last spring. I could have got top dollar. I could have got this. I could have got that. Most sellers, regardless of who you are going to need to pay for living expenses on the back end. So even the sellers that sold at the height of the market went and jumped back into the market, at a high level, and they paid for the home that they wanted, or, especially if you're going up, right? Especially if you were upsizing, you had, quite a crazy market here when you sold, but you also had quite a crazy market all the way above 1.5 million here in the Denver area. And so you were still paying a little more. I always say that sellers, kind of even out, because either it's a seller's market and you crush it on your sale and you have to, give a little back when you're buying because it's still a seller's market. You can't, unless you go back to renting, and that's literally just throwing money away again. Or you're downsizing, right? And you still have to compete a little more than maybe you would have a couple years ago. So you're kind of on a sliding scale. And if you're doing it on both ends, it doesn't really affect your bottom line because you're getting a little over here and losing a little bit over here. Then we have, well, what if they relocated to a smaller area? Well, that's a huge commitment, right? If a lot of people from Denver were moving to the Midwest, they could get acre plots, for half the price that they sold their, spec home here in Colorado for, whatever. Well, that's a huge commitment to move across the country, pick everything up and move. That's awesome. If you're retiring, you're settling down, that's what you've always dreamed of. That's really cool. But you're also walking away from the opportunity of equity, right? If you're going from Colorado, where the $700,000 average price, $820 at one point last year, average price is in Colorado, but in that same market, in that same time frame, you're moving to Missouri where the average price is $280. Well, that's through the biggest gain nationwide of appreciation over time. So what do you think that 280 is going to become? It's really going to suppress your equity gain as you go. And people often think, it's kind of a fallacy actually, that, oh, well, it's at 280, so that's going to continue to explode. Well, if it didn't explode through the explosive growth of home equity, why do you think it's going to all of a sudden explode when things chill out? And so it's all relative, and that's fine. If you're retired, you're kind of cashing out, you're doing your thing, that's great, because now you don't have a mortgage payment, you're paying cash. But did you know, if you did want to stay in the metro, maybe your grandkids are here or whatever, then you could actually get a reverse mortgage depending on your age and all the things, and never have a mortgage payment ever again. And so there's options even in these competitive markets and these equity gains. And people say, well, you're kind of throwing away, your inheritance that you're giving to, your people, grandkids, whatever. Well, the truth is that money's yours and you're here to spend it. But even still, if you're using a reverse mortgage and getting in a market that is going to appreciate faster than over here, technically that reverse mortgage your value of your home could continue to increase, and you're still going to have something left over to give if legacy is kind of your thing. With reverse mortgages, make sure that you have a plan for, short-term, long-term care if you do have to go into a assisted living or whatever, because that stuff is very expensive. And that's what other people are, say you're cashing out at the high end of the market, going to there, I'm telling you right now, those prices are never going down and they're extremely expensive. So there's a lot into this, and the fact of luck is not really the truth. Luck doesn't really happen. It's look at your situation, understand what's going on, and make a logical decision. And sometimes it's making some changes to your lifestyle where you're dedicating your finances and all the things to saving some money, changing your income, getting a second job, paying off debt, not being able to swipe that credit card and get whatever you want today. Maybe one less Starbucks a month or 10. And so those are huge things that we can absolutely dial in, but it's very important that you quit saying other people are lucky and look in the mirror and say, what can I do to get myself out of this situation? Because it is a hamster wheel. It won't stop. If you're renting, The goal is to get out of it. And I am here to help you. It might take 2 years, it might take 4 years, it might take 1 month, because a lot of people have some misconceptions, which we can talk about in another time. But reach out. There's a link in the description below to talk to me about how you can, change that. We'll do a little coaching session and say, okay, well, maybe we should bring a lender in and talk about credit repair or whatever it is, because absolutely, I'm here to serve you. I want you to get lucky and be out of renting on the hamster wheel. And so luck doesn't exist. You can look in the mirror, you can fix the things, you can improve your lifestyle, you can be a little flexible, and that's that. So with that said, have a green beer, maybe a car bomb, or maybe just enjoy everybody else on St. Patrick's Day, and have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy the day of luck, but at the end of the day, look in the mirror and see what you can change and see what we can do for you to get into home ownership and start building wealth. Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty, super excited to have these conversations and get you off the hamster wheel and continue crushing it in the game of real estate. Bye-bye.